So we've covered Ryan Walters quite a bit here on the channel. He is the Oklahoma superintendent, the radical right-wing lunatic that wants a Bible in every classroom. He wants the Ten Commandments in every classroom, and he wants teachers to pass what he calls a purity test because he's got to make sure the teachers in Oklahoma ain't woke. It's so ridiculous. I mean, I always think about Jesus passing through Oklahoma, a Middle Eastern Jewish dude, and he passes through Oklahoma and says, "We got to feed the hungry. We got to take care of everybody. We got to welcome in the strangers." Ryan Walters would run him out of Oklahoma and say that he was woke. But the thing about these radical right-wing lunatics that always wants to thump their Bible the hardest, they're always the ones, folks. Every time someone like that is really pushing that type of agenda, those people always have skeletons in their closet. And if you just sit back and wait, they're going to come out. Or you might just see it pop up on their work computer. Yeah, and I got to give a shout out to Rolling Stone for this headline because I was going to read an article one way or the other, and when I found this one from Rolling Stone, I said, I have got to read this one because kudos to them for coming up with the funniest headline that I probably have read all year. But here it is, folks. Oklahoma's Trump-loving, Bible-thumping superintendent faces porn probe. Two Oklahoma Board of Education members said Ryan Walters was not apologetic after a video of naked women played in his office during a state meeting. So an investigation is underway in Oklahoma after a television screen in the Maga State School Superintendent's office reportedly showed a video of nude women during an executive session at the Board of Education on Thursday. The images reportedly appeared on a screen in the office of Ryan Walters, Oklahoma's far-right superintendent of public instruction. Walters previously told schools to teach the Bible and Ten Commandments, demanded students watch him pray for Donald Trump, and named transphobe Chai, I can't pronounce their last name, to a state education committee. He also tried to use state money to purchase Bibles for the classrooms that matched the specifics of those marketed by the president and his family. So he wanted the Trump Bibles to be the ones that would be in the school. But as you might expect, Walters has led a crusade against pornography in school libraries. Two members of the Oklahoma Board of Education said they were shocked at what they saw on the screen on Thursday. I was like, those are naked women, said board member Becky Carson. She told this to the Oklahoman. And then I was like, no, wait a minute. Those aren't naked. Surely those aren't naked women. Someone is playing a trick on us. Maybe they should just have tan bodysuits. This is really bizarre. I saw them walking across the screen and I was like, no, I'm sorry I have to even use this language, but I'm like, no, those are her nipples. And then I'm like, that's pubic hair. What in the world am I watching? I didn't watch a second longer. Carson told Walters to turn the video off. Here's the funniest part, though, of the whole thing to me. I was so disturbed by it that I was like very loudly and boastfully, like I was a parent or teacher. I said, what is on your TV and what am I watching? And he was like, what? What are you talking about? He stood up and saw it, made the acknowledgement that he saw it, Carson said, and I said, turn it off now, and he was like, what is this? What is this? So he acknowledged that it was inappropriate just by those words, and he was like, I can't get it to turn off. I can't figure out how to get it to turn off, and I said, get it turned off. So he finally got it turned off, and that was the end of it. He didn't even address it. He didn't even apologize. Nothing was said. Carson and the board member, Ryan Dethridge, said the video looked retro and did not involve sexual intercourse. I don't know if he turned it off or switched the channel. I don't remember, they said. I was surprised that when he came back to the table, he was unapologetic. I didn't even hear an apology for it being on, and he didn't even seem fazed that it was on. And that line does not shock me. I'm sure he wasn't even fazed by it. So Republican State Senate President Lonnie Maxton told Oklahoma Voice that the Office of Management and Enterprise Services is carrying out an investigation into the incident. Paxton said in a statement, this is a bizarre and troubling situation that raises questions about the events that took place during yesterday's executive session at the Oklahoma State Board meeting. The accounts made public by board members paint a strange, unsettling scene that demands clarity and transparency. They love that word. Waters says the claims were a distraction. He told KOKH Fox 25, some of these board members are blatantly dishonest and cannot hide their political agenda. It is disappointing that they are more interested in creating distractions than getting work done for Oklahoma families. Walters' communication director called the story a junk tabloid lie. Regardless if the allegations are true, Oklahomans are in dire need of new leadership at the Oklahoma Department of Education, said Cindy Munson. Those are serious allegations made by 2 state board members, and a third-party review is warranted. I urge the state superintendent to unlock and turn over all relevant devices and fully cooperate with the investigation. So, folks, I just wonder if old Ryan will be willing to hand over his computer and just give full transparency on this one. If it's a bullshit story, if it's not true, and if these people just had a political agenda, then okay, prove it, come out, show us what you've been watching at work. Let us all know that you're a straight-laced dude. We don't believe it for a second, but hey, if you've got the proof and this is all a bullshit story, you can prove it. But when it comes to these people that are always pushing religion, and when it comes to these people who are always writing the most extreme bills to control women and the most extreme bills to push their religious agenda, you can always just pretty much bet that they're the ones with the biggest skeletons in their closet. And I've got one more story to read to you because I want you to see the kind of people that Donald Trump endorses. And this story is actually way more disturbing than Ryan Walters. This happened just south of him, down in Texas. I'm going to go ahead and warn you, I have a hard time with this guy's last name. Giovanni Capragiglione drops re-election bid after reported affair, allegations that he funded abortions. Yeah, so a month after unveiling his re-election campaign, the House Republican and State Doge Committee chairman, we'll just call him Giovanni, shocked the Texas Capitol Tuesday by announcing that he no longer plans to run. And the about face came just days before a bombshell interview surfaced Friday with an exotic dancer who maintains that she had a 17-year affair with the conservative Dallas-Fort Worth area lawmaker who she alleges paid for her abortions, yeah, abortions with an S, and made disturbing sexual comments about children. Far-right media outlet Current Revolt published a 25-minute interview with a woman named Alice Grace, a self-described former exotic dancer and mother of 4, who said she began seeing Giovanni in 2004. She told the outlet she shared her story out of a sense of duty and ethical concerns over the lawmaker's powerful political positions. Shortly after the story broke, he released a statement confirming the affair, but disputing the rest of Grace's story as reported by the Texas Tribune. So, he said this, years ago, I selfishly had an affair. I'm not proud of this. Thank God my wife and family forgave me, and we moved past it, and we have a strong marriage today. But right down here, folks, is the most disturbing part. I'm going to get to that here in just a second. In a sit-down interview with Current Revolt, Grace maintains that he paid for multiple abortions during the course of their affair, despite his publicly held anti-abortion stance. Indeed, the Republican lawmaker authored the 2021 trigger ban law that automatically outlawed abortion in Texas when the U.S. Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade. Grace declined to offer more details on the alleged abortions. But right here, trigger warning, folks. This is truly disturbing, but I do want to let you know the kind of people that Donald Trump endorses. So right here, breaking. This is when he posted this. President Donald Trump has officially endorsed me. President Donald J. Trump has given me complete and total endorsement for my reelection. He knows I stand up for Texas family and will always put America first. Thank you, Mr. President, for trusting me to keep fighting for our conservative values. I'm honored to have your support. Together we will make America great again. But speaking of his conservative values, trigger warning, in one of the interview's most explosive claims, Grace described becoming uncomfortable when Giovanni mentioned he wanted to ejaculate into batter for cookies that would be sold at his daughter's bake sale because he said that he enjoyed the thought of children, particularly young girls, consuming his semen. I mean, I don't know really where to go from there. I really don't. Again, those are allegations. He says they aren't true. But when it comes to Donald Trump and his circle of friends, he sure doesn't mind the company he keeps. I'll just say that. And the more that we learn about the kind of company he keeps, the more truly disturbing that the whole thing becomes. And these people are the ones that wants to sit back and claim they're the party of family values, and that's the part that always annoys me, because as long as time has been around, they have rode on that banter that they're the party of family values, and then it's always them that gets their hands caught in the cookie jar, no pun intended. It's always them. And listen, there are people out there that would say, well, Brando, you've had your share of problems in your lifetime. You've been divorced twice, and you've definitely went through things. Yes, I have, but I have never claimed to be a Christian. I've never claimed to be a role model to anyone, and I've never went out there and tried to sign legislation to strip other people's rights away from them, and I've never went out there and took my interpretation and tried to force it into every classroom. I have my YouTube channel right here, and I tell y'all on a daily basis what it is that I believe in. Do I believe that this stuff should be taught in school? No. Do I believe that it should be in every single classroom? No. I know somewhere someone said, I wish they'd play you, Brando. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. But the truth of the matter is, one person's influence and one person's interpretation should not be what is dictating what gets taught in our schools. Your opinions, your beliefs should be left at the door. They're just that. They're just your opinion. They're just beliefs. When you're teaching children, you have to bring the facts, you have to bring evidence to the table and teach that. And then everybody can go home and they can have whatever religious viewpoint they want, and they can have whatever belief they want once they get home. But we have the separation of church and state for a reason, and that's something that never gets through to the Ryan Walters of the world. They think that their interpretation of Trump's Bible should be the one that is controlling the narrative. Meanwhile, when their computer is hooked up to a TV, well, boom, all of a sudden you see that kind of imagery on the TV, and then they try to deny it and then don't even take responsibility for it or even apologize, and then, of course, just say it's fake news. Well, at least the dude down in Texas didn't say part of it was fake news. He admitted to the affair, but then he has all those allegations. And when you look at Trump's friends, they always have. He's best pals with Vince McMahon. That's another one we could talk about all day. It's always those type of people is the company he keeps. Now, they're going to cry that it's all just one big hoax and we're all coming after them, but it's funny to me how 9 times out of 10, unless they're Trump, they just start resigning and stepping down and getting out of the way. And I remember back in, was it the 90s, back when Larry Flynt, the publisher of Hustler magazine, back then published the article of the other senators and congressmen that had affairs too, the ones that was shouting the loudest against Bill Clinton. He started printing those articles in his magazine and they started resigning. So this stuff ain't new. It's never been new. There's always been hypocrites, and some of the biggest ones are the ones that thumps the Bible the hardest. Look, I don't have a problem if you want to believe in God and it brings you comfort and joy in your life, and you sit back and believe in that and you pray every night. Good for you. I understand that we've got a lot going on in this world these days, and if it brings you peace to your personal life, good. But keep it right there in your personal life. And don't let it start influencing all these other things, and don't let it start being the thing that you think your interpretation of it should dictate the entire country and what other people's children are taught. That's all I'm saying. But folks, I do appreciate you sticking with me here on the channel as I make this video. By the time it gets up and out to you, we may have already hit it, but we are right on the brink. Yeah, we are at 797,000 subscribers here on the channel. We're almost 800,000. I truly do appreciate your support, and I do believe we'll get to 1 million before the end of the year, so let's just keep pushing forward. We've gained 34,000 subscribers in the last 28 days. I truly appreciate y'all for that, and we'll just keep pushing forward, and we'll keep calling out this hypocrisy. And that, my friends, is a full-time job.